Welcome back to Econline, everyone. This lesson is going to be on income elasticity. So we're going to start off our lesson by doing a very quick review of price elasticity, and I would recommend you also take a look at those lessons as well. But remember that price elasticity of demand is a measure of price sensitivity. So we're basically getting at, do buyers have a large or a small response to a change in price? Typically, we'd say a good is elastic if the percentage change in the quantity exceeds the percentage change in the price. In other words, if a 5% change in the price causes a 20% change in the quantity, that tells us it's an elastic good. Income elasticity is different. It tells us whether goods are normal or inferior. And you may have come across this problem in a class discussion. Sometimes it's easy to tell the difference, right? Lobster versus hot dogs is an example I've used in here. Are those, which one is normal, which one is inferior? Well, by and large, people are going to trend towards lobster. When they have more money, they're going to buy that. But that's not always the case. Like, you can't always quite tell. Or, for example, what's a normal good for one person might be an inferior good for someone else. So imagine someone who had a very marginal or very low income, and they were subsisting off of mostly dry goods, like macaroni and cheese, cup of soup, that type of stuff. For them, hot dogs might be a normal good. If they had more money, they would buy more of those things. But for someone at a higher income bracket, hot dogs might be an inferior good. So how do we know what they are overall? So the example I've given is kind of cut and dry, but there are others that are not so obvious. So I'll tell the difference. So income elasticity tells us what is price sensitivity, or income sensitivity of the demand for a good. In other words, when people's income changes, how does their buying behavior change? Now, the easy thing about this is that the math is basically the same, and just like with cross price elasticity, we'll see that the most important thing is really not even so much the answer, but the direction of the answer. Just taking a quick look here. Price elasticity was the percentage change in the quantity of a good divided by the percentage change in the price of a good. And income elasticity of demand is the percentage change in the quantity of good divided by the percentage change in one's income. So that's the key. And that's one of the statements we want to look for. When you are reading questions, whether they're multiple choice or type of open-ended response questions, you're going to sometimes get questions, they'll ask you if two good, or what kind of goods are these? And the answer could be normal inferior, the answer could be complement substitute. The thing that you're always looking for is what's changing. And if we're talking about the price of another good changing, then it's going to be a cross price question. If it's your income that's changing, then it's a normal inferior question, or an income elasticity question. So the formula is pretty basic. There aren't really any graphs involved with this either, so we're just going to jump right to a basic example. Suppose average income increased by 5%, and the purchases of iPhone 5s increased by 10%. All right, so it is percent change in quantity divided by percent change in income. Let's take a look at how our formula is going to play out. The percentage change in quantity is 10% positive, right? Increase. And this is also going to be a positive 5%. So it's a 5% increase in income. And your answer for the 2. And I will note it is a positive 2. Normal goods are positive. Why? Because when your income goes up, make that look like an I, then typically the quantity demanded for a particular good goes up. When you have more money, you buy more of a good. So the same thing applies in this scenario. Because we know that income is going up and quantity is going up, it's a direct relationship. It's a positive relationship. This good is normal. Let's jump to the opposite example. Suppose average income increased by 5%. And purchases of iPhone 4s decreased by 10%. This will kind of give you an example of where we see this in a little more common reality here. All right, so again, formula, percentage change in the quantity is 10%. It's a negative 10%, actually. The percentage change in income is positive 5%. When you do the math here, your answer would be negative 2. And that would tell you that this is an inferior good. In other words, when your income goes up, then the quantity of this good demanded is going to go down for you, or your demand for this good goes down. You buy less of it. So that's basically our point for this. Income elasticity is pretty cut and dry. You know, if the answer is positive, it's a normal good. If the answer is negative, it's an inferior good.